Hey everybody, welcome to the Jedi Night's Watch. My name is Graham,
And my name is Rob.
and today it's a little bit bittersweet. The Mandalorian Season 2 is over, which sucks, but we're going to review Season 2 with you guys. It's an exciting time for Star Wars and for Star Wars fans, and I love talking Star Wars with you, Rob, and with you guys out there, so I'm really excited to do this video.
Unless you don't care, don't watch this until you have seen all of, including the final episode of The Mandalorian Season 2.
Right, there will be heavy spoilers, so yeah, just
Oh, yeah.
go
And
and then come watch.
I have a Game of Thrones shirt on instead of a Mandalorian or Star Wars shirt, so...
Predator shirt.
There you go. At least we're showing our nerd culture here.
Right.
I kind of wanted to just talk about it as if we're like two guys with a group of other people kind of hanging out with us and talking about the season in general. I mean, we don't have to go like we had talked about before, but
It really feels like this Western style type of show integrated
even the
with Star
score.
Wars.
Yeah, even the score when every time you see the Mandalorian,
I love that. And then it gets stuck in your head, but you love it. You like it. Like,
yeah,
I'm sitting here at home and I'm walking around, I'm like, and we got our baby Yodas with us.
yeah. I know. I want one like that now, though. I see it all the time in the store, and I'm like, so cool.
Yeah, it's only like $25, I think.
Yeah, and I got the Funko Pop, which was about $25-$30, so I'm like, whatever.
This season was really good in a lot of aspects, but I thought for the first 4 episodes, it really was starting to feel predictable in a sense that you knew there were side missions coming. Every time he was going to get help or get to that next step to reunite the child, these other people needed help, and now it was a side quest, and that was getting a little predictable. But then I think they got away from that after season 4, but it was each time in the first 4 episodes, or episode 4.
Yeah.
So,
And something that got me that I thought about throughout the whole season was they told us it wasn't going to be like that. They told us it was going to kind of be toward one thing and a lot less side missions, but I feel like we got about the same, if not more, this season. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
It was I had fun watching it. It was just like, okay, like I want to see what's going on with this baby Yoda, the child, until we find out what his real name is, of course. But
I thought this season was really well written, really well executed. And then let's talk about the Easter eggs and the fan service. I thought they didn't force it over the top like I feel like the new trilogy did. Like, it was really...
I feel like they didn't ruin Star Wars, the story and everything about Star Wars, just to make people happy by seeing a Jedi or by seeing, a certain planet or, making jokes with the child.
Right.
And like certain things. Like they didn't just overdo it to where it's like, okay, this is becoming Disney, too kid friendly kind of thing. And
they did a good job not throwing it in your face.
Yeah, I love Disney, by the way. Nothing against Disney.
Like even, and I forget the character's name, Cobb Vanth. When they were going to meet the Sand People, and you saw his speeder, and it was kind of made from one of the jets of Anakin Skywalker's pod racer.
Yeah,
like it wasn't in your face. You just you noticed it. And you're like, oh, hey, that reminds me of Anakin's pod racer. Like things like that. Bringing Boba Fett's armor back, but having it mean something instead of just being like, hey, this is Star Wars, we want to bring you in. Like it meant something, and they weren't slamming you over the head with it. Like, okay, we get it. Like they were showing moments right after Return of the Jedi, and I thought they really tied this show well into original Star Wars and made it like what Star Wars is, in my opinion.
Yeah. And watching this season, the first few episodes, I was just waiting for there to be a pod racer.
Right.
Like racing match or something that the Mandalorian had to do to like get information or win somebody over or something, but never happened.
Never happened.
Which is probably a good thing, but it would have been cool.
What the Mandalorian does too is it really uncovers a lot more layers to these characters that they represent Star Wars, but you never really knew a whole lot about them, and they dug deeper into that. And like I don't know. The Sand People always look cool, but you never knew a lot about them, and you still don't. But you know a little bit more about their backstory and like their tribal people, and I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, it's kind of like we are on, or they are on their land, kind of like, you know, Indians or Native Americans or whatever, and it's like, hey, we are, like you said, tribal people, and we need to survive as well, and you're kind of on our territory right now, so.
So I consider myself a Star Wars purist, meaning that I love the original trilogy and even the prequels. And this series brought back to life kind of what we got in that original saga. Like, it feels like it's original Star Wars, and it fits right in that timeline.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that just impresses me so much about this show, is that it's really well written and really well executed, like we said. But the fact that it's right after Return of the Jedi, but it also just feels like that Star Wars story just continued.
It's kind of cool how, you know, the more Star Wars being created, the more people are appreciating the prequels,
right?
And how it's kind of bringing everything into existence, like, you know, having Christensen come back, right? And Obi-Wan coming back, and so that should be a lot of fun. But don't want to talk about all that.
Right. This season did a really good job introducing us to new characters that were brought to live action for the very first time. Beloved characters like Bo-Katan, and Ahsoka, who is just a fan favorite. So seeing her on the screen was breathtaking. Now, you and I have watched the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels a little bit.
Yep.
Where we have not gone through the whole thing. But
I have not watched every episode in order, but
we've both watched some of the episodes, and we've done our research, and we know who both characters are, and it meant a lot even just for us to see them. So I can only imagine how it felt like for those diehard animated series fans as well. So they brought us new characters for the first time on screen, but then they also did an amazing job bringing back characters that we have known and loved. Boba Fett, again, kind of like the Sand People, we see a lot more layers and a lot more personality to Boba Fett. Like, you never saw him in action in the original trilogy. You thought he died. He survived. It was chapter 14, episode 6, called The Tragedy, which was one of my favorites, where we really got to see Boba Fett for the first time in action, and
he
that
just
was awesome.
Kicked butt, man.
I was gaga.
I think that was my favorite episode of the season, because I felt like there were no flaws with that episode. I can't think of anything bad about that episode. It was so, the way he was killing those stormtroopers and everything, and
his Tusken Raider weapon.
That was so cool. Yep.
Well, then he just glances into the Razor Crest and he sees his armor, and you're just like, oh man, he's gonna go get his armor. This is
well, it's a good thing he got it before the ship blew up.
Right. But it was just cool too, like just seeing the stormtrooper's armor shatter when he was just hitting him, like that effect just puts it over the top too. Like, it was so cool. And then seeing him, he's got the rockets on his knees and on his gauntlets, and it was just so cool. I love seeing him.
And that kind of leads us to the Dark Troopers, right?
Yes. Yep. I always get them mixed up with Death Troopers, but they are the Dark Troopers.
They were really badass, pretty much. And seeing them that first time in action, that is, taking the child or taking Grogu,
right.
It was like, oh my goodness, like, how are they going to be able to take these things out? Like, they're almost, it's like, almost giants, where it's like impossible to destroy these, and there's so many of them.
And that kind of leads us to the other character that they brought back, which I know everybody was waiting for, hoping for. It's only one X-Wing coming, and I'm like, oh, I know who that is.
Well, I was like, while I was watching it, I was talking out loud to the guy I was watching it with. I was like, is that Luke? Well, it could be Ahsoka. I don't know why, but it could be, because just coming back to help the child. And then I was like, oh, it's Obi-Wan. I was like, no, Obi-Wan's dead. I was like, okay, I think it's Luke. Because then I saw
Force
the black
Ghost Obi-Wan.
Huh?
It's Force Ghost Obi-Wan.
Yeah. And then and I was like, that's got to be Luke, and amazing. It was cool.
So seeing Luke again, awesome. I've seen some people on YouTube that have cried. I did not go that far by any means, but I'm not saying anything about that. To each their own.
There was somebody that said, I can forgive the CGI because I was crying anyways.
Right. So that's what I was thinking. I thought the CGI was pretty iffy, but I'm not going to complain about it because we got Luke, and I take it. I'll take however it looks.
Shoot, and they could always fix it in the future.
Right.
Make it look a little better if they wanted to.
I thought they could have done a little bit better. And again, I said I wasn't going to complain, but I don't know if they just ran out of a little bit of budget and they just threw what they had at it to make it work. Because you could tell they were not showing his face if they didn't have to. Like, they brought R2 in and they cut Luke's head off so you could just see down there. And seeing him cut through those dark troopers like butter was amazing. Seeing his skills honed even further now that we're 5 years from Return of the Jedi. I know you said we're kind of skipping around here because we're kind of talking about the characters. We're talking about Luke.
Sure.
And I know you said that for the finale, when we saw Luke, that it seemed a little too easy to take on the dark troopers, and he just kind of had no problem.
Right.
And the flip side of that, I guess, is there's not many Jedi left, and the bad guys, Moff Gideon, they don't really think there are any Jedi left either, other than maybe Ahsoka. And so the dark troopers are almost unbeatable to any normal person, but the Jedi are there's not too many Jedi and those kinds of powers. They're pretty much on the top of the...
For sure. And no, I 100% agree that Luke Skywalker was able to do that. I'm not against it. Oh, Luke couldn't have done that. No, for sure. My thing was the build up.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they're all waking up about to fight the Mandalorian. Only one gets out. The Mandalorian gets his butt kicked. He finally figures out how to kill this thing. He does. You think the other ones are going to get out to where he has to fight 10 of them. He pushes a button. They all fly out of the spaceship. Then finally there's this big cool scene, it's really cool.
Right.
And then they lock themselves up and you think they're going to break in. Then all of a sudden, it was kind of a cop out.
Sure.
And it was cool because of who it was. So everyone's okay, who cares? It was Luke that came and did it. So it's all good, but I did want to see Mando have that tough fight with a few of them at a time.
Sure.
Would have been really cool.
I think he would have died. I really do.
But that's the thing. Okay. I give this season a solid A. Okay.
Right.
But I do feel Mandalorian was a lot tougher in the first season. He always had to have help in the second season. I felt like Luke Skywalker, the other bounty hunters, Boba Fett, and his one friend's always helping him out. I felt where are all his weapons? He's always has this little wrist thing that it all shoots out, and I was where's that at when he could have used that to save Grogu once they had the thing up against him, or the dark saber. But overall, man, it was so good to see Luke Skywalker.
It was.
And just to know all of the spin-offs that they're going to be doing with Ahsoka, with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, and with Boba Fett, which we haven't really gotten to, but just how this kind of all built up for that, and that to me was the main reason for the season.
Right.
Was to say, guys, we're opening up this world. We are world building even more so right now to create this huge thing on Disney Plus. And man,
they're doing it right. They're doing it right.
Exactly. Yes.
So, speaking of, you said Grogu. That is the child's name. We found that out. We also found out a lot of backstory
episode
for
5,
Grogu.
Right? The Jedi?
Yes. Yep, the Jedi, episode 5. That was where we got to meet Ahsoka. That was one of my favorite episodes. But yeah, we got to find out he was in the Jedi Temple. He's about, we know he's 50 years old. His name's Grogu. He can speak to Ahsoka through the Force. And then we found out his memory was kind of fogged up. So there's definitely some things we found out, but then other things that we still have to find out that are intriguing. So that was really cool too.
But you just wonder, like, how soon are we going to see Grogu again? How soon are we going to see Luke again?
Right.
You know, are we going to see Luke again?
I would think so.
Yeah. So, and how many seasons are there going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they take it from here and who's all very involved. I mean, Bo-Katan has to be involved now that we have that extra ripple of the Darksaber now that she has to earn it. So is she going to square it off against the Mandalorian, or is he going to be the ruler of Mandalore? We don't know.
Yeah. Now, season 3 has been confirmed, right?
Correct.
It's not like that's the end of Mando and he just got him to Luke and that was it?
Yeah, so there was a lot of confusion after you saw that end scene after the credits with Boba Fett retaking Jabba's palace and basically becoming the crime boss in the underground. And it said the Book of Boba. So that's going to be coming out December of 2021. And a lot of people are like, well, that's when Mandalorian Season 3 is coming out. So are we now going with this Mandalorian?
Are they going to cross paths?
So from what I've understood, the Book of Boba Fett is going to be a 4-episode mini-series. So it's not going to be like seasons on end, and it's going to be separate from the Mandalorian. However, just like Ahsoka, all these other series, they're going to be intertwined. Kind of like we saw Ahsoka for 1 episode, and now she's getting her spinoff. The stories are kind of parallel with each other, and will intertwine as well. Okay. So, yes, Mandalorian Season 3 will go on. Boba Fett's going to be its own thing, and I think the reason why they didn't announce it when they announced the other shows is because they didn't want to tip their hat at the ending. Like, a lot of people are like, well, is Boba going to die? Is he going to live? So if they bailed the show before then, you'd know, well, he's not going to die. So
right. What was your favorite episode, favorite scene? Something that like got you going, got you a little excited.
My favorite episode was 5, The Jedi. I was so stoked to see Ahsoka. And the beginning, they just jump right into it. Like, her just plowing through. And my favorite part of the episode was the end where she takes on, I can't remember the lady's name, but it's Bruce Lee's goddaughter. Is it, she confronts Elsbeth.
Elsbeth, yes.
And I thought it was so cool seeing her with the Beskar steel. And she almost had like this martial arts background to her. And I liked seeing them square off. I thought that was really cool.
Well, and that's something we haven't really talked about a lot was the spear. That's a huge weapon going into the future where it can, lightsabers can't even cut through it.
Right.
Made out of the same armor as the Mandalorian has, and there's not a lot of it. It's kind of like dragon glass or something from Game of Thrones, where very rare. So it's cool that Mando's got that, so he can fight future foes with the Darksaber or things like that. So very cool.
Man, this whole season was great. Like episode 3, you had them meeting Bo-Katan, but then really from the Jedi on, it was great. I thought the tragedy was definitely my second favorite, and then the finale was probably my third favorite.
The tragedy was episode 6, right? With Boba Fett kicking butt.
Yep.
Okay, that would be my favorite.
Okay, and what was your favorite moment?
Would be episode 6 when Boba Fett grabs his armor and just starts tearing it up. I mean, we've already talked about it, but that to me was the coolest moment in the series, alongside of Luke Skywalker, kind of later on. But having Grogu, and you could see, every now and then see it in the distance, Grogu doing his little thing, and wondering who he was speaking to. Was it Luke, and that's how Luke found him?
I believe so.
So it's really cool to kind of think about all that. And what was your least favorite?
Before we get to that, just while we're on your episode, I could not believe they blew up the Razor Crest.
I know.
I was so shocked.
It's like, what are they going to do now?
So my least favorite episode was episode 2 with the Frog Lady.
Stop eating the eggs. Stop eating the eggs.
If anything, yeah.
It was cute the first couple times.
I wasn't really too excited about that. Like, I was like, okay, dude, like, are you really going to eat all this frog lady's eggs?
And it just made me mad. I was like, dude, come on, stop.
Yeah.
Like, she needs her babies.
A little discipline.
Yeah.
But, that one, if anything, felt like filler.
Yeah. Oh, that one was for sure the most filler.
Right.
Yeah.
The spiders are kind of cool when you watch them again, and those spiders were from the original Star Wars.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that's kind of cool, but it did have an alien feel.
That's for sure.
So, Rob, what was your least favorite episode of the season?
Before I get to that, you were talking about episode 2, and I before the spiders came, I was thinking it was the Wampa. I was like, oh, that would have been Wampa. Cool. Oh man, this is gonna be cool. But you know, the spiders were pretty cool and everything, like you said. But yeah, definitely a filler. I would say that episode 2, but I don't want to say the same thing as you, so I'm gonna say episode 7. I feel like they could have made that 30 to 40 minutes a lot shorter, and they had I feel like they had a lot of fillers in that episode as well. I do feel, and I'm really being really nitpicky now that you already stole my episode. Right. You know, it's a little thing like when he took off his mask. Taking off his mask for the first time with Grogu, if he didn't do it one episode before, would have been a lot more impactful, I think, for the audience. And but other than that, man, it's hard to say why. I was confused during that episode. I don't know if it's because I was just drunk, talking throughout it, or tired, or what, but I was like, why are they going here? Okay, is it like a distraction? Like, what's going on? And yeah, I mean, another mission episode, you know, where that kind of happened. But
so the only thing I didn't understand with that episode was they needed Mayfield to get in because he had Imperial background and credentials.
Yeah.
And it needed to scan his face, which I assumed was because he was still in the system. But then Mando takes off his helmet and then he just scans his. So it was like, does it just need a face to scan? Can it scan anybody?
Right.
That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Right.
But I thought I was taken back though when he took his helmet off.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. You could just see, like, he did Pedro Pascal did a really great job looking uncomfortable because, you know, he doesn't have his helmet off ever. So he was just like, and then obviously Mayfield's going off the deep end. Yeah, and then Mayfield's like going off the deep end and he's like, you know, stop it. And he just blows him away. That was pretty entertaining to me.
Yeah. What grade would you give this season, Graham?
So overall, it feels like this show really feels like Star Wars, like I said, and it's the Star Wars that I love, and it feels like it's picked up right after Return of the Jedi. And you know, it had some side missions, but it got away from that. I'm not saying side missions are bad, but it, you know, kind of was getting a little predictable. But this has been so great for Star Wars, and the fans are so thrilled. I just hope Disney keeps it up. And I would give this a 9 out of 10. Honestly, like there's really nothing I disliked. It was just like even episode 2 I like. It's just it's my least favorite. So, and even like the side quests, I don't mind them. It's just if I'm picking something.
Yeah.
So like
I would say it's awesome. My biggest complaint is I wish the episodes were longer.
Right.
So, but you know what? That's a good thing.
Right.
Because you want more. Right. So if you're really thinking about it, is it a complaint or is it just, man, I can't wait for more? You know, so I'm with you. I was thinking between an 8.5, 9. So I would say 9, round it up there, and definitely an A show, you know, and just like the first season. I think it had 2 of its best episodes in the series. I would say the overall season of 1 might have been slightly better, but season 2 definitely had the biggest like moments with Luke Skywalker and Boba Fett and, you know, all, and getting Grogu's name and all that stuff. So,
but this show is so good that, I mean, even people that don't like Star Wars have jumped on the bandwagon and enjoyed it. My wife is one of them. have other friends that don't like Star Wars that now have watched this and they like it. So if you haven't seen it, give it a try for sure.
Well, if you like Star Wars, not necessarily this video, but this video too, but if you like Star Wars, go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We talk Star Wars a lot, along with other things. And go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when our next video is here and you can be the first to watch it.
Rob, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you guys out there too. Hopefully you guys are having a safe and happy holiday this season. Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think about season 2 of The Mandalorian. What was your favorite part? We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, stay safe and we'll see you soon. Right, Grogu? Goodbye.
You're good. We'll have some eggs later, okay?